everyone, welcome to the first episode of A lo mejor funciona, and today I'm going to show you how to decorate a Black Panther cake, and I'm going to also use my 3D sculptor my mom made for me. So basically I'm using 3 layers of cake, and in between each layer I have some mulberry jam. I try to use it as my simple syrup, and I'm going to also show you guys how it looks from the side. I probably should have added more frosting, but this is just going to be a test cake because we are going to have a party when the movie's released, so I'll do that when I make the final cake. But yeah, so you guys can see here the 3 layers, and it's kind of hard to see the jam, but it's there. So anyway, now I'm just trying to decide how to start sculpting and trying to make especially the curvature in the back, because that's like the deeper curve. So I was just trying to figure out how to really get the right shape at first. So I think the back is the part that I spent the most time on, to trying to really get that rounded shape, because like I said, the top part, you really have to start carving out a deeper curve towards the back. But anyway, you guys can just watch me do this. I try to speed up to the process, but I hope you guys kind of get the gist of it. I will show you a view from the side, but for right now you guys can just see how you have to carve out the main oval shape, and then you can start cutting into the sides of it to try to start sculpting it a little bit better. Okay, and now here is the final shape. Like I told you guys, the top is the part that I left for last, so I can really start sculpting that curve out. And I'm going to try to I'm basically working from the back to the front, so I'm trying to get that sloped that I really want, especially when it goes towards the cheekbones. And this part, don't do this, guys. This is where I really messed up. This does not work out. There is really no reason to start sculpting out like the edges. Here I am trying to make eyeballs. It's starting to look like Iron Man. This looks horrible. But yeah, definitely don't do that. It was really unnecessary. Like, I'll show you later in the video. I had to try to fix all of that. So because once I put a creme coat on it, and because this cake is so soft, because it's like a regular cake box mix, it's not like a dense cake, you can actually just push into it with the tools I'll show you later. But yeah, this step is like completely unnecessary. And then also you have to know when to stop, because I think at this point it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. I just decided to wing this tutorial, so I mean, whatever. But it's starting to look crazy because I was getting so frustrated because the shape started looking, it wasn't matching up to the way that I wanted it to look. It started to look more like Iron Man. I don't even know why I made him look like a Cyclops. Like, I completely cut out the whole front part of his face. I have no idea why I did that. I look so crazy. But don't worry, guys. Eventually, I did get a hang of it. Like I said, you have to know when to stop. At some point, it's really not necessary to keep carving. You can really kind of manipulate the shape later on, especially when you don't use a cake that's really dense. And here I am trying to match up some cake and fill in the holes, because like I said, it was looking horrible. It was no purpose for me to do all that. It was a waste of time. Like, even though I sped up the process, like I wasted probably like an hour trying to figure this step out, because the shape was just not looking the way that I wanted it to look. But eventually I think I got the hang of it, so it'll be alright. So, and this is how it looks from the side. And I think at this point I was kind of happy. I was trying to, I was like, whatever, or this is just a test cake anyway. So, just trial and error, trying to figure out what's going to work. And I mean, it's better to make a mistake now than when I have the party. So I think it'll work out. So like I said, I was really happy, at least with the curve. I mean, it looks a little crooked in the video now that I look at it, but I mean, it is what it is. Now I know next time, try to make it better, a better straight line in the back, and get the curve more even on both sides, because it looks like in the back one side was a little bit more it was just sticking out a little bit more than the other. But in the end, it all worked out. So It's all good. I'm not too worried about it. And here's the black buttercream I made. Basically, you just have to use black cocoa and black gel, and then that really makes a difference. So yeah, you guys can see the how dark it is in comparison to like regular chocolate. So that's definitely something I do recommend, is getting that black cocoa, or you can just buy black buttercream, because that will really save you time. But if you guys want a specific tutorial on that, I can definitely show you guys how to do that. And here is a close-up of the mulberry jam. My mom actually made that from a mulberry tree. And you know, the black of the berry. But you know, it works as a simple syrup, and I just wanted like extra. It's for adults, so I mean, it's not like a kid's cake. So I mean, you know what I mean, whatever. But yeah, it tastes really, really good. So I wanted just to add a depth of flavor, especially with the black cocoa. It tastes really, really good. So it's a good combination. You can add other things. Like next time I'll probably, I don't know, I might make this a different type of buttercream to put in the middle and infuse it with a different flavor. I don't know if I want to put the black buttercream inside of it as well. I might do a different combination just to, you know, enhance the flavor a little bit more. Okay, and now I'm trying to create the bridge. This was way too big. Don't do that either. Make it like half the size, but you'll see at the end of the video. And it was, man, it was so hard trying to frost this crumb coat because the cake is so soft. I really think I should have frozen it. So next time I know I will freeze the cake to make it easier to sculpt as well as crumb coat, because every time I used the buttercream it would like peel off layers of the cake, and that was like so frustrating and annoying trying to fix that over and over again. So it's okay though, in the end it worked out. But yeah, it took forever. Like, even though it's sped up, it almost looks like a few seconds. It took me a really long time trying to get that frosting to stick onto the cake. It was annoying, to put it plainly. But yeah, so yeah, freeze it or use a cake recipe that is more dense so the crumbs are not so soft. But overall, you want like, I would say, I don't know, maybe half an inch. It's just something for the fondant to stick to. And it also helps with the sculpting as well when you put maybe like a ½ inch layer. Well, maybe less. I don't know. I think it's between ½ an inch or a little bit less as far as the frosting on the cake. So yeah, I think that's how much I put. But anyway, whatever. And then just clean up after, you know, clean the edges, because the next step is to actually put the fondant on it. So make sure every step of the way, because this stuff stains. I didn't want to keep leaving the frosting on things because I didn't want to, you know, get any additional stains on the paper. And by the way, I made the bottom. It's just a piece of cardboard with foil on it. And this is my favorite part, you guys. So I rolled out my black fondant. Like I said, you can make it yourself or you can buy it. With this one, I bought this black fondant because it's a lot of work to get black fondant just right, especially a really dark color. But I'll leave that in the description box for you guys as well. So you guys are not going to believe what happens next. It is really crazy. I swear, this cake caused me so much stress trying to make it. But yeah, it took me forever. I didn't even have a rolling pin. I couldn't find it like at 3 o'clock in the morning. So I had to do so many things trying to get it. And here I am putting the fondant upside down and it broke. Yeah, it was so crazy. I was so upset. But I was like, whatever. I'm not rolling it out again. So I'm just going to go with the flow. So at this step, I was trying to stretch it out, but I think I rolled it way too thick. And because it was upside down, it was, oh my gosh. I don't even have the words. I'm speechless. It was so much work trying to get this to stick on there. Because like I said, I didn't knead it long enough. And I think it was just too much sugar on the other side. It wasn't sticking enough, but whatever. I tried to make it work. Eventually, I did get it to stick. Here I'm rubbing water on it. Probably shouldn't have done this. I was trying to smooth some of the cracks off because, like I said, I put it on the wrong side. And that just made it super sticky. Like I said, it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. 4 or 5 at this hour. I don't even remember the time. And I completely forgot. Yeah, you see, I'm trying to use my fondant scraper now. You see how it's stuck to it? So basically that's out the picture. I'm not going to be able to use it at all for this cake. So yeah, make sure you put your fondant on the right side so you can actually use your smoother to at least get the scraper, because I don't know if putting the water on it gave it cracks later on. I don't know. You guys can let me know if you're a fondant expert. And here I am, I'm trying to cover the back, from the line. I was thinking that, I don't know, well, whatever. I was trying to smooth it out, and my thinking was that if I put water on it, maybe it would blend back together. But in a minute, you're going to see that is not the case. That is not how fondant works. So, eventually I got the hang of it. But I'm basically just trying to connect both sides to it. So I'm just trying to match up the seams together to try to make this just look cohesive. And like I said, that curve in the back, oh man, that was what was giving me the most issues, because it was really tough. Like I said, I think I did not knead it long enough, so I don't know if that was causing the extra dryness in the fondant, and maybe I should have added some water, or I don't even know how you make it more moist. I saw some videos, people added water to the fondant to try to make it softer so you don't get cracks, but like I said, it's a practice one, who cares, whatever. So here I am trying to put some more water, trying to smooth out the seams. Like I said, it's not gonna work, but at least it I don't know, it did something. But okay, whatever. So I was like, let's get to the next step. So here I am trying to sculpt. I'm using my ball stylus tools, and I'll leave all the tools that I use in the description so you guys can see that too. You see how easy it is. I'm basically trying to like work on the bridge. It was just way too big. It looks really bulky there. So like that's why I said make it like half the size. So you see how easy it is to indent into the cake and the frosting. It was not necessary at all to like cut or carve your cake. It really isn't. So at least this part I'm pretty happy. You guys can kind of see the picture that I have. I'm trying to make it look like it. And then I switched tools. I'm using this flat edge silicone tool. It's in the same kit. It's just they have like 12 different tools in the kit I use. So I really like that one because it helped me make like excuse me, those flat edges. So that was probably my favorite tool out of the whole kit. That and the big ball stylus tool. So I'm just trying to make all the indentions and trying to match up where I'm actually going to start creating the rest of the details. At first, I don't know, I thought I was gonna paint within the indentions, but I wanted to make it look more 3D, and you guys will see that in a minute. So but I think now it's gonna, just take your time, try to get as these. I mean, this helmet has so many details. It was kind of frustrating because it is a little bit difficult to do. I know next time I will take more time to make the details, but I think overall I just wanted to make like the primary ridges, because this helmet has like the circuits on it, like for the kinetic energy. So that takes a long time, but I was able to do it. They did have a the toolkit that I mentioned. It has a very tiny ball stylus tool, and that's what I'm going to use to try to make all of the smaller details, like all the lines on the side. And it's going to turn out pretty cool, because the other thing that was kind of frustrating is there are so many masks in this movie that if you look at one clip in the trailer, it's like you think it's something else, and then it's like, no, it looks completely different in the next scene. So, I mean, do your best, whatever. So here I am just trying to create the little circuitry. And just at first I was trying to create all the triangles, trying to make it look just like the helmet, but then I said, yeah, right, whatever, I'm not doing all that. So I just started making my own designs, but I thought it would look alright. So here I am. After, I think this is the moment where I got tired. I was like, yeah, we're just gonna go with a whole bunch of triangles and lines. But yeah, then just do that all over the top part. I mean, just look at the clips, and yeah, you guys are gonna get mad at me because my phone died at this moment, but I promise you didn't miss much. All I did was, in those indentions that we made earlier, I rolled up some fondant and then I just stuck it in those lines. And I did use some edible glue. It's just basically some stylus powder and some water. And for the ears, I just cut out a triangle and I made it longer at the end, and then I just stuck it in there. I mean, you can look at the video. And then you see for the eyes, I put a little bit more fondant in the eye sockets, and I used the ball stylus tool. I just poked some holes. In the front, I didn't add any extra fondant. I just, I used that flat silicone tool, and I just kind of like made those indentations. And then I just used the ball stylus tool to poke the holes in the front. So I hope you guys can kind of get the gist of it. I'm just trying to show you as many of the details as possible. I was a little frustrated with the width. In the next one, I think I'm going to make it less wide. I don't know. It's like a mixture between a real panther and then the panther mask. I'm a little frustrated with how it looks, but I think it looks pretty cool so far. So, I mean, you guys can let me know what you think, but I know I'm probably going to make a few more changes to try to make it look more realistic, but I'm pretty happy with it at this point. So we'll see how it works out when I start painting it. But I mean, you can see it's a lot of cracks. So anyway, now I'm going to use some piping gel as my base, because when you use, I'm using Rolkem Super Silver mixed with a little alcohol, some vodka, and it just paints better on piping gel than when you paint it directly on fondant. And this is another thing, I wanted to make the grids. You guys see, that's why I put the little holes with the stylus tool, because I like, if you look at his mask, he has like the protection shield on it, so it has like the little grids on it so he can still see. So next time I would definitely paint it before I actually put it on the actual cake, because you'll see in a few minutes it gets kind of sloppy. Because if the brush is, even if the brush is super fine, I had a very fine tip brush, and it would still kind of paint all over the edges. So I really do recommend that all those rolled pieces of fondant, that you actually paint them first before you actually put them on the cake, because then that will look really professional, look more clean, and it'll look just better overall. But that's what I'm gonna do when I make the final cake. And then right now you can see I just put the I'm trying to shade it a little bit, and then you can see that all those little roll pieces of fondant, I just cover them in piping gel just so I can paint it all at once instead of like doing little piece by little piece. I was kind of mad at this. I bought this jet black luster disc, but it looks kind of green in this video. I don't know why. I need to double check that powder, make sure I have the right one now that I'm looking at it. But yeah, see, you guys see, even if you try to paint it, like, you'll see how it can get like all over the edges. It doesn't look like super, it just looks a little sloppy when it goes outside of the edges. I don't like that. So for the next part, I'm definitely going to paint the little rolled piece of fondant before. And you guys see how, don't do like 2 layers. It doesn't look good when you do 2 layers of paint. It looks kind of I was gonna say cakey, like it's makeup, but you know, it just doesn't look good when you do 2 layers of paint. Make sure you paint it one time, so that will make it look better overall. But yeah, I'm starting to try to figure out what other details I want to do to it. So I'm just trying to give you guys a closer look at that piping gel. So it really does look so much better when you use any kind of like luster dust and then you paint it on top of piping gel. It like makes it look more glossy. When you put it like on fondant without it, it just doesn't have the same kind of shine. But I was trying to be so careful, but you guys can see that even like, I mean, it's only, you can only see it really when you look super close up, but I really want to make sure, I wanted to get all the edges basically. And yeah, it's harder when you're painting directly on the cake. It really is better, but I don't know. I'm starting to like how it's looking. From the front, I still think it's too wide, but whatever. So yeah, and you guys can kind of see all the cracks and stuff. I'm looking at it with you now that I'm looking at the final video. But yeah, and then you see the final seam. It doesn't look too bad. The part in the back that was split, it kind of blended in because there are so many lines on the mask. I think it looked alright the way that I fixed it when I cut it. But I mean, of course, that's only if you break your fondant like I did. But yeah, I think I'm pretty close to the end, and I was kind of happy with it. It wasn't really bothering me too much. I mean, I was trying to like fix some of the cracks, but I was like, well, if I put water on it now, I think it's just gonna dry out and it looks more like a leather mask. It's kind of crazy. I mean, it would be kind of like, I don't think his mask is like leather anyway. It's kind of like some sort of, I mean, whatever. I don't know what material it is, but this kind of looks like a leather mask, or it looks like that panther, the panther cave, you know, the one from the trailer. So yeah, let me put some highlights on those cheekbones. But yeah, just try to go back. Like in person, this luster does look darker, but yeah, in the video it looks more green. So I'll tell you guys which one it is. I mean, I don't know if you want to get it now that it looks more green on video, but in person it does look a little bit more jet black, but it does have a tinge of green. But okay guys, I mean, this is pretty much the final look of it. I'm pretty happy with it. I know exactly the mistakes that I made, and you know what I'm gonna fix for the final cake. And I'm also going to make the Eric Killmonger cake, and then I'm going to make the, of course, the Vibranium Kinetic Energy Suit as well. So I'm going to make 2 more. I'll show you guys those videos coming up. I'm getting ready for Infinity War too. I can't wait for that. I'll probably make Thanos for you guys. Let me know if you guys, what other characters you guys want to see me make, but I think it came out pretty cool. I mean, I'm pretty happy. I think everybody at the party will like it a lot. So, I mean, I'm just so excited about the movie. I can't wait to see it. Like, I had to stop. Like, I follow Chadwick. I had to stop watching his clips because, like, every new clip they show you something new on. I was like, I don't want to see any more previews of it. I just can't wait. I already got my tickets, like, day one. As soon as he posted that they were for sale, like, I bought them right away. So I'm like so excited. The whole family's going. So yeah, anyway, let me know what you guys think about it. Give me any tips for all you cake masters out there who know how to work with fondant. You guys can let me know next time what other things I could fix, and everything else will be in the description box, guys. And then I hope you guys like my first video on here showing you my skills, and I look forward to sharing more stuff with you guys in the future. So have a great day, guys, and have fun. Enjoy the movie.